Hey guys, it's Pam, your favorite paralegal and notary public from Brooks Notary and Litigation Support. Today I want to do a quick video about the top 5 things they did not teach you in notary school. All right, let's get right into it. So the first thing they don't teach you in notary school is to answer your phone. If you're advertising your notary business, of course, you're going to put up your phone number. If you have a website, you're going to put up your website and probably your email, depending on how iffy you are about your email being on the internet. But generally, people call for notary appointments. Even if you have a booking system online, if you have all that information on your website, they will still call. So if you don't like answering your phone, not sure if the notary profession is right for you because they call. They just do. So it's very important to have a professional greeting as well. I think that kind of will give a good first impression. So when people call me, it's thank you for calling Brooks Notary. How can I help you? And you'll be surprised how well that goes over with your client. Now that we've answered our phone, we're ready to book the appointment. We've got to remember to ask a couple of important questions. So one of them is, how many signers will be at the appointment today? Or it could be something along the lines of, how many signatures are we going to be notarizing today? And a lot of notaries don't really make that distinction because, unfortunately, when it goes to charging our notary fees, they'll turn around and mistakenly charge per stamp as opposed to per signature. We're supposed to charge per signature. So, so it's important to know that. It's important to let your customer know that as well, that, hey, it's this much per signature, so that there's no surprises when you get there and that they understand how much they're going to be paying when you get there. So now that we've answered our phone and we've asked the right questions, now we have to quote our notary fee. And this is very important because you want to make sure that you get paid. Of course, there's some people who do it just as a hobby, just to keep busy. And there's others who are running full notary business. So, of course, you want to make your money. And you want to make sure that you're charging the correct prices. That's within the guidelines of your state's notary pricing guidelines. Each state is different. So, for instance, California allows you to charge up to $15 per signature. And Nevada allows you to charge $5 per signature. I know, right? Pay cut, right? Yeah. But, so you can also charge travel fees if you are a mobile notary. So the state of Nevada allows you to charge $20 for your travel fee. And you can increase that fee within a certain, if it falls within a certain time. So I believe it's from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can charge $20 for your travel fee. If you if you do signings later than that, from 7 p.m. on up through to 6 a.m. the next day, then you can charge $50. So, you can kind of make up for it in the travel fees. And I know you're like, well, who wants to pay, $20 for a $5 signature? You'll be surprised how often people book me to come to them. It's for convenience. They don't want to have to go out and look and go they don't want to do that. They would prefer you come to them. People are also doing the remote notarization as well, which is, an additional fee. Their fees are a little bit higher. I believe theirs start at $25. I'm not a remote notary. I'm still kind of looking into it to see whether or not I want to go that route. But for the moment, I am a traveling notary. I charge my notary fee in addition to a travel fee. And you have to make sure that you let them know up front because, again, we don't want any surprises. And you also want to make sure that they are aware of the method of payment that you accept. That is so important. There was one time I went to go do a notarization, and the gentleman tried to act as if he didn't have cash on him, even though I explained on the phone that I accept other methods of payment. He tried to act as if he did. He was like, "Oh yeah, I don't have cash," and I'm like, "Okay, well, I mean, you can also Cash App, you can Zelle. I accept credit cards." So let's just say I got paid that day. So now that we've done step 1 through 3, now it's time to schedule the official appointment. So, of course, we talk to them over the phone. We have to pick a time that is going to be convenient for both you and the signer. You don't want to stretch yourself too thin. I know it's like, okay, I need to get this appointment. I need to book this appointment. But you don't want to stretch yourself too thin, especially if you have multiple appointments scheduled for that day. So you want to make sure you give yourself breathing room in between each signing. So what I like to do, I like to use either Square or Google Calendar to book my appointments. So of course with Google Calendar, it's manual. Of course you're writing in the information yourself. But with Square, you can set it up to where there's a link and people can go to that link and book you. And you set the time slots that you are available, and they can book you for whatever those time slots are. I try to give myself at least 30 minutes or so in between signings, just so that if I needed to run an errand, if I needed to take a quick break, or you needed to snack in between, if I have a full day. So you want to, what they say, self-care. Self-care is very important. Because, people think that, notarizing is just simple. Like, oh, yeah, that's easy. All you do is stamp a document. But no, it's actually quite a bit that goes into it. And especially when you have multiple signings per day, and depending on the type of signing. I mean, I don't know about you, but, I've done loan packages as well, and they are not easy. I mean, of course, as you've done them over time, you can kind of wrap them up a little quicker because you become more familiar with the documentation, but they're very time consuming. And that's, it tires you out. It does, especially if you're doing multiple per day. So my advice is make sure that you schedule yourself with at least 30 minutes or so in between. I mean, if you can do it going straight through, then by all means do that. But I'm a strong advocate for making sure that you have time for yourself. You have time to kind of refresh and regroup and then get ready for the next one. There's likely that you'll have less mistakes or room for error because you'll be more clear, a little rested. So I recommend that you book yourself with gaps of time in between. And just visually, it helps to see the appointments on your schedule so that you can mentally prepare for what is booked for the day. Thank you for sitting through my list of the top 5 things that they don't tell you in notary school. So number 5 is you have to make sure to remind your signer to bring a valid form of identification. Generally, the rule of thumb is photo identification. From what I've seen from multiple states, it's generally photo ID. Because you want to look at it and see, okay, you look like this person. Sometimes it can get a little tricky when you're dealing with transgender, because sometimes they are, in the process of transitioning. So their photo may look different. Their name and information may be different. And generally, we have to go based on the information that's on the ID. So you want to make sure that that's very clear when you are booking your appointment, and let them know that their ID has to have a photo identification, and that, your state allows you to use discernment when it comes to supporting documentation. So some states allow you to use expired identification, but sometimes there's parameters in terms of how expired, like how long has it been expired. So you just want to make sure that you remind them, because sometimes people forget. Some people have never had a notarization done, so they're just not aware. So you are the professional. You make sure that your signer knows to bring ID. Hey guys, thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video. I hope that the information that we went over was useful to you, and that maybe you learned a little something. I'm going to be doing more videos like this in the future. Right now I'm focusing on notary stuff. The next go around, I'm going to be focusing on some paralegal hacks that you might find useful. And I'm going to do a little bit of story time as well about my experiences. So I don't know. I hope you guys find that interesting. In the meantime, let's go over what we learned today. We have to answer our phone so that we can, of course, book the appointments. And then we have to quote our prices. We have to make sure that we tell them what forms of payment we accept. And we need to make sure that we tell them to bring their ID. A lot of times, people have never had a notarization done, so they're not aware of what they need or if they need anything to bring with them to the notary appointment. So you have to let them know these things so that they can be prepared and so that the signing can go much more smoothly once you guys meet up. So that's all I have for you guys in this video. Please let me know if there's anything that you would like to see, if there's any questions that you have, any critiques, anything. I welcome any information. If you wanted to see more, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You can also hit me up on anything social media. It's going to be at Brooks Notary, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And you can also hit me up at my website, brooksnotary.com. And you can shop for notary and paralegal merchandise, office trinkets at bnlsstore.com. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, this is Pam signing off.